All right, let's get right into it. Today, we are unpacking something absolutely massive. We're looking at a population-scale architectural blueprint that is fundamentally rewiring how a nation of over 1.4 billion people governs, transacts, and, well, just lives. I'm talking about India's Digital Public Infrastructure, or DPI. I'm super excited to unpack exactly how this ecosystem was built, layer by layer.
Okay, let's dive into this. The United Nations defines digital public infrastructure as a set of foundational digital systems that form the backbone of modern societies. And that's absolutely crucial to understand. Infrastructure isn't just physical roads and shipping ports anymore. Today, these invisible digital rails literally determine who gets access to modern services, global markets, and even fundamental rights.
So, here's our blueprint for today's explainer. We're going to cover 5 key areas. We'll start with the global digital moment, then look at the foundation, the JAM Trinity. From there, we'll see how they scale the digital economy, how that transforms citizen services, and finally, we'll wrap up with India's global DPI diplomacy. We'll logically build our understanding of this massive ecosystem, step by step.
Right, starting with Section 1, the global digital moment.
Think about it. India has completely flipped the script on its global role. They went from being just a massive consumer of existing tech to a primary builder of population-scale architecture. And the real game changer here is the model itself. Unlike the closed proprietary platforms that kind of dominate global tech today, India built an open, accessible network for over 1.4 billion people. And they did it at a remarkably low cost, designing the whole thing fundamentally as a public good. Which brings us to the bedrock. Section 2, Foundation, the JAM Trinity. And this brilliantly illustrates the bedrock of this entire digital skyscraper, the JAM Trinity. Jan-Dhan, Aadhaar, and mobile connectivity. It's this deliberate convergence of banking, identity, and connectivity. By linking these 3 pillars together, individuals connect directly to the state. Welfare benefits bypass the middleman and drop straight into bank accounts, drastically reducing delays and pretty much eliminating leakages. Let's break down the A in JAM, Aadhaar. This is their biometric-based digital identity platform, and the sheer scale is staggering. We're talking over 144 crore. That's 1.44 billion unique IDs generated as of March 2026. This isn't just some physical ID card in your wallet. It's a verifiable, highly portable digital identity. It essentially eliminates all the friction of traditional KYC processes, making access to everyday services virtually instantaneous. Then you've got the J, Jan-Dhan, which is the financial inclusion pillar. As of March 2026, 57.71 crore bank accounts had been opened under this initiative. That's a massive amount of unbanked savings brought into the formal system. But more importantly, it created a massive data trail. Millions of individuals and small businesses went from being completely invisible in a cash-based world to having data-backed creditworthiness. And to complete the foundation, you have the M, mobile connectivity. Because let's face it, none of this works without access. By the end of December 2025, India had over 125 crore wireless telephone subscribers. With 5G services now reaching 99.9% of districts, that mobile phone in your pocket effectively becomes a bank, a classroom, and a direct gateway to public services, whether you're in a bustling city or a remote rural village. Okay, stepping up to the next architectural level. Section 3, Scaling the Digital Economy. You really can't talk about India's digital economy without talking about the Unified Payments Infrastructure, or UPI. It operates at a scale that is just unprecedented. Get this, in January 2026 alone, UPI processed 21.70 billion transactions. According to a 2024 report, UPI accounts for a staggering 49% of the entire world's real-time payment transaction volume. Its superpower? Interoperability. It natively connects hundreds of different banks seamlessly, making zero-friction instant payments the absolute everyday norm. But it goes way beyond just paying your friends. These open networks are democratizing commerce itself. The Open Network for Digital Commerce, or ONDC, is actively breaking down traditional e-commerce monopolies by connecting buyers and sellers directly through open networks, which vastly lowers the barrier to entry for small businesses. Right alongside it, you've got the Government e-Marketplace, or GEM. This digitizes public procurement, bringing total transparency to the process and allowing even micro-enterprises to easily bid on and secure government contracts. Moving right along to Section 4, Transforming Citizen Services. Now, what's really interesting about this is how these platforms actually eliminate physical red tape. Take DigiLocker. It acts as a highly secure digital document wallet. By March 2026, over 950 crore authenticated documents had been issued, basically making physical paperwork a thing of the past. And when you pair that with Umang, which is a unified mobile window, citizens suddenly have instant access to thousands of government services, from paying utility bills to applying for scholarships, all right from their phones. So when you step back, you realize that India's digital public infrastructure isn't just one giant app. It's a modular, interoperable stack where every single layer unlocks the potential of the next. It started with that foundational layer of identity and banking, the JAM Trinity. Once people were identifiable and banked, it naturally enabled a second layer of seamless payments via UPI. And with secure data and financial flows completely locked in, it evolved into this robust third layer: complex welfare, healthcare, and educational service delivery. And we saw this modular setup heavily stress-tested by massive public health needs. During the pandemic, the CoWIN platform successfully managed over 220 crore COVID vaccine doses, seamlessly coordinating between manufacturers, healthcare workers, and citizens. At the exact same time, eSanjeevani scaled up to facilitate over 45 crore telemedicine consultations, effectively bridging that critical gap between urban specialists and rural patients. Finally, the last stage of our blueprint. Section 5. India's global DPI diplomacy. To really grasp why India is exporting this stuff globally, you have to understand the guiding philosophy of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's a civilizational ethos that translates to the world is one family. When applied to technology, it essentially means viewing these digital platforms as shared public goods. Instead of locking down platforms like CoWIN as proprietary software just to sell it for a profit, India actually offered the underlying architecture to the world as open-source software, completely free of cost. And you know what? The global community is definitely paying attention. As of February 2026, 24 countries across Africa, the Americas, and the Asia-Pacific region have signed MOUs to collaborate on IndiaStack and DPI. This is a huge shift. It's not about purchasing a finished, closed product, it's about knowledge sharing. Nations are collaborating on the architecture itself, adapting these open-source rails so they perfectly fit their own unique local contexts. We're also seeing the actual, physical, cross-border expansion of these rails, specifically with UPI. It's now live in 8 different countries, including places like the UAE, Singapore, and France. This physical expansion is a real turning point in the global fintech landscape. It streamlines international remittances, makes cross-border transactions highly efficient, and it is absolutely catching the attention of policymakers worldwide who are looking to upgrade their own financial architecture. So as we look at the sheer mind-boggling scale of what's been built here, from a foundational digital identity to a globally exported tech ecosystem, it leaves us with a really compelling thought. As the world searches for trusted, inclusive digital pathways, will the future of global infrastructure be dominated by closed proprietary platforms, or will it be built on these adaptable, open digital rails?